Before I purchased my 2002 LB7, it had only 2 owners. I bought it from the second, of course, who has owned this truck since 2011, or 55,000 miles. This truck now has 175,000 miles. Now, he used this pickup for commuting, mainly commuting. He said he hardly ever had a trailer hooked up to it. He worked in the oil field, so he drove from, I believe, Casper out to wherever he was working, like 100 miles a day. And he put a lot of miles on it. Once he got done working in the oil field, this was his rodeo pickup, and not one to pull a horse trailer, but one for him to drive around to watch rodeos, being a little bit older of a gentleman. He took very good care of this truck. This story checked out. I mean, it really runs very well, and he had a ton of service records with this truck that I'm going to be showing you guys in an additional video, so subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Even though the previous owner drove this mostly on the highway and he never pulled with it, it is 18 years old and it is not perfect. Now, this truck is in immaculate condition. It's about as good as you can get an LB7, yet it still has some flaws. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you everything that's wrong with my 2002 Chevy Silverado Duramax. And the number one thing that's wrong with this truck has to do with my instrument cluster. You can see that the truck is currently running, yet nothing shows up here on the instrument cluster display. Typically right here, your miles show up with your trip odometer, but this cluster is dead. Now, my message center does work. I'll show you that by turning my cargo lamp on. The only thing that does not work on this instrument cluster is that little thing right there. It's completely dead. Now, it does come up once in a while, and that's due to a very common problem on these trucks. I'm going to be going through the common problems on these trucks in a later video. So again, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel now, because you're not going to want to miss that video, and you're not going to want to miss my service records video. That one's going to be insane. The number 2 most annoying and most critical problem with this truck as it stands has to deal with this little button right here. Now, this little button is my tow haul mode, and it's not working, and that's not good because I bought this truck to tow. I bought this 2002 Duramax pickup truck as a work truck to be our heavy hauler. It'll be pulling around this gooseneck with about 14,000 pounds on top of the deck most of the summer, which, you know, it tows this trailer just fine without tow haul mode in overdrive. But when I get, you know, 14,000 additional pounds on top of this trailer and it's close to 16,000 pounds or more, I'm gonna want my tow haul mode working so that the truck's not trying to shift up and down all the time, and so we don't do any damage to that ultra reliable Allison transmission. The number 3 thing that's wrong with this truck, and that's also a really critical matter that I need to get fixed, has to deal with the front seatbelt latches. Now, I have never in my life seen this in a Chevy pickup truck, but the stock factory seatbelt latches here in this truck are not working. They will not click in. You know, there's no seatbelt light that comes on the dash or anything. It's the driver's side, and the passenger side is a little bit sticky, but we can usually get it to latch. But what I think happened here is somebody was so annoyed with the seatbelt light coming on and dinging at them when they weren't wearing it that they shoved something down inside of these. At least to me, that's the only explanation of what could have happened to these seatbelts, because like I said, I have never in my life seen a seatbelt issue with an old Chevy truck. And to make matters worse, and to complicate this problem that's wrong with my Duramax, you cannot buy the seatbelt latches anywhere. Not from O'Reilly's, not from a parts store, not from a dealership. So the only way I can get new seatbelts for this truck is by finding them in a junkyard. And there were 3 different options for this year. I have to find the ones that fit specifically this 2002 Duramax, which I thought that I had some squared away, but now I'm back looking. The rest of everything that's wrong with this truck are kind of more minor issues and minor annoyances, but they're things that I'm still hoping to get sorted out, and that's going to start with the center console right here. I love these flip down center consoles, and that's because I have plenty of storage space to put stuff in here, but at the same time I can have that third row seat to sit a sixth passenger if I need to. But this center console has a very sticky latch and will not open normally. To get this center console open, you almost have to sit here and bang the latch in and out while trying to pull up and wiggle the top of the center console. It does open, it does work, but it is so annoying that I almost don't care what this latch costs. I think I'm going to be replacing it. The fifth thing that's wrong with my O2 Duramax has to do with the lights. Now, I'm not talking about the crappy GM or Chevy lights in the front of this truck. They're actually new housings and work very well. Again, these are just minor annoyances, but the first light that's wrong in this truck is the dome light in here is burnt out, and I have no idea how to take that cover off, but I'm going to be figuring it out, because when you get in here and it's pitch black and the only thing you have are these little like cabin lights, it's so annoying to either have to have them on or a flashlight or something just to see what you are doing to get into the truck. Still on the topic of lights, these Warren off-road lights down here operate off of a remote control, and they're not working either. Now, they do have replaceable bulbs. They're regular like headlight housing bulbs, so I'm gonna put new ones in, but I think we're also gonna be adding some light bars. So again, subscribe to the channel down below so that you don't miss the light bar install on this truck. The sixth thing that's wrong with my O2 Duramax just has to deal with a few cosmetics on the outside. This truck, besides being very dirty right now, has been very well taken care of. However, there are some points of rust on the front bumper on the ranch hand. Again, it's so dirty and salty right now because we just got back from Idaho. But there's a few blemishes there. There's a few blemishes on the truck and the paint itself throughout. Now, I do have a paint to sample paint corrector for this truck that, you know, I'm probably going to use and touch up some of these spots that do have some minor blemishes. And then the other thing on the exterior here is that this bed cover has come off of the Velcro, so I'm probably going to be restitching just this little like 2-foot section in the back to keep that down. Other than that, the bed cover doesn't leak. But the final thing and the sixth thing that's wrong with this truck is just some minor cosmetic defects on the exterior, which, you know, it's 18 years old. That's to be somewhat expected. Although not perfect, I really lucked out with my 2002 Duramax. I absolutely love this truck. You can see that there are a few issues that we need to address, but for being 18 years old, it is in immaculate condition. It pains me to have to use this truck as a work pickup, and luckily we won't be using it all that much. It'll be more our heavy hauler for highway travel and longer road trips and things, and it will be getting used, but I'm just grateful that I finally have a reason to justify buying a Duramax. I'm grateful to have the truck. It is really, really exciting for me to meet one of my heroes, to have one of my dream vehicles. And again, I don't know how long I will be keeping this truck. And that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, smash that thumbs up button. That helps support me out. And subscribe right now if you haven't already, because you're not going to want to miss the content that I have coming out on this truck. I'm super grateful and super excited to finally own a Duramax, and I want to share that experience with you. So subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram, link down below. Get out, enjoy your automotive ownership, and I'll catch you in the next video.